I think we all met in life. The strange and unprotected incident that made our lives difficult and was very sensitive subject to handle an unexpected event even though it happened 2 years ago, it marked our lives forever and the image is implanted as if it was yesterday. People amaze each other all the time. And sometimes it turns out that we don't know even our closest friends and deceived us for money. Let's backtrack and build this shit from the foundation. My friend has really done well for himself in life. I was very proud of him and all of his achievements. We were together since a long time. We used to spend great time together. Let me tell you a little bit about him. It was clear from the beginning that he was going places. He did very well in school and everyone knew him as a smart cookie. Not only his grades were good, but he were also an outstanding athlete as well as keeping his nose clean. Some accused him of being squeaky clean, but that didn't bother him. He was not going to let anyone rain on his plate after he graduated from college. He decided to go to New York. As the song goes, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Back in those days, New York was a hotbed of innovation. My friend was a product design specialist and had some great designs on tap. Unfortunately, he did not immediately succeed. Things weren't easy in the beginning and it took him a while to learn the ins and outs of the Big Apple. In any case, it soon became clear to him that he needed to make some brownie points with his director. Although he was very passionate and perfect, but he was really greedy and toxic. He took more from the friendship than he gave. I was one that has made things all about them most of the time, which means I spend time, attention, energy and probably money on their needs. But he did not. I couldn't imagine how difficult it must be to open up and tell your lies about being in a relationship with other girl to your wife. At first, this person might seem like they are very interested in you. It's nearly impossible to determine the selfishness in a friend until you've known them for a while and have seen them in a variety of situations. His irony is that when I used to send her having a funny version, "Damn man, you greedy," he got either shocked or offended that I suggested such a thing that he did not care at all. If someone lacks the self-awareness to notice how they treat people when you telling them might just cause an argument between the two of you rather than resolve this imbalance in your relationship. So I tried to fix this matter because that time I was considering him a supportive and trustworthy friend. He was the only one who joined me for a favorite activity like biking, going on the ballet, action movies, author appearances, etc. In other words, our friendship was based on the activities, then lacked the emotional connection. Myself was experiencing a brief and temporary period of financial abundance. The first and only time like this I have ever known after many years of working at office job as manager that barely allowed me breathing time on the weekends. I was fully freelance, or as I would later come to think of it, unemployed. I was renting for 1 bedroom, 1 kitchen and 1 washroom apartment. My friend used to live with me without paying anything. Although he was aware of my financial issues. I was spending a lot of smoking, drinking coffee and going to yoga classes and laying on the floor crying while dredging up bad memories of my stepparents. I was hungry for true love. My biggest dream that time was having a caring partner to whom I would spend quality time. I wanted to get married, but I was not having good financial stability at that time and fully indulged in many matters. I wasn't a complete idiot. I knew that the windfall I was living on wasn't the advance of content. Writing. He worked hard on it. It was rapidly being decimated by taxes and insurance premiums was finite and unlikely to be replenished via writing a loan. That was enough of an idiot to imagine that teaching yoga was going to be an advocate. Another plan: I was taking the yoga class when a pretty girl reached there. She was beautiful with a wild head of perfectly maintained hair and always smelled amazing. She had casually just come from a fitness class or a massage or a haircut or other esoteric experience. She had written for years for women's magazines, which were then much more of a thing. And so a lot of this self-care was either subsidized or a legitimate research expense. But I got the sense that she would still be doing it even if it weren't part of her job. This was just the way she lived. She reminded me of the author whose photograph was on the vision board I kept above my desk. She was a centralist and a state. She made it seem normal and rational and good to spend hours taking care of your body and mind, seething and notching yourself like a pampered, beloved pet. I was totally in love with her. I decided to marry her. I finally proposed to her and we got married. But I realized soon finding the right person was indeed a difficult task. In fact, I observed that even in matters of love, the basic thing that attracts a boy to girl is her guide and the way she looks. However, I realized soon that should not be the only factor. I felt for relationships are not entirely based on external appearances. And therefore other things such as personality, bitterness and self-esteem have a lot to do with attracting men. When I got married with my favorite girl, the beginning of a marriage, everything feels new and exciting. We have got romantic date nights, planned weeks in advance, and what may become future annoyances are just enduring little quirks that make me love my spouse even more. But unfortunately, the honeymoon stage won't last forever. Eventually, things are going to simmer down and I might even find myself feeling well bored on the beginning of our relationship. I had a number of expectations. It's like about how exciting things should be, how available my partner should be, or how comfortable she should make me feel. But as the relationship goes on and circumstances changes, she started making the things boring. She used to make dinner every night, but from now got a promotion and has to put in more hours at the Instagram. That expectation may no longer be reasonable. She did not take care of me and spend more time on her looks. She was really pretty. I did not find her sexually attractive. I avoid intimacy with her because she is very boring in bed. We have tried to talk about it, but she seems not to understand the importance of sex and marriage. Perhaps the sparks have been gone for some time. But now it feels like I could sneeze off at any moment and it wouldn't change a thing about what I was doing together. My wife spent more time typing away on her phone than talking to me. I believe quality time is an important ingredient in the relationship cake, and the cake is going to fall flat if you forget about it entirely. I even discussed my domestic matter with my friend. He suggested me to opt for a sexy and curvy girlfriend, but I did not find it the good idea. I started keeping myself engaged in the games. I was playing an online game, but I had to use Skype to coordinate with others who played. Also there, I met a cute girl. She was 4 years younger than me. So I did make a move because I like young girls. I insisted her on talking as I found peace in her cute gossips. She was very caring and kind of wifey material. I realized that we had common interests. We listened to the same music. Actually, it was even creepy sometimes because we were listening to the same song at the same moment. Generally, it came out that we differ in very few things one day after we met. In reality, we both felt a great push to each other. From the next day, we were waking up at 6 in the morning and go to the office, and she kept me company with text messages all day. She was the only girl I have seen so far who cares only about my character and not if I have a car or I have a lot of money, which I have. But I did not tell her at the beginning to make sure she did not want me for that reason. I regularly spent more time on the phone than in the past. I became her addicted and was highly close to her. One day, my phone was on the coffee table. She heard a ringing come in. I quickly grabbed the phone. That was maybe a red flag for her. I started not sharing my passcodes with her. I preferred to leave my phone in car overnight. I told my friend about this relationship. He was happy for me and appreciated me. One day when I was buying a pretty expensive ring for my girlfriend, my friend asked me for some about I denied him because I already did a lot for him. I was myself short of money. I was really not satisfied with my vibe. I introduced my girlfriend using a hot and erotic chat with her. Soon she made herself free and alone at her home and called me over house. Was not a safe choice. So I booked a hotel. I remembered the night when she went to the washroom. She came back from the washroom and her top was little wet. I decided to take the initiative and ask her to come closer. We were so close that we were now feeling the breath of each other. It was the most exciting moment that I had. Till then later, I put my hand on her shoulders. She was shy, which I could see in her eyes and face. But she smiled after that. I pulled her closer to me and finally we were hugging each other at that moment. I felt like I skipped a heartbeat. Well, the feeling, guys, the hug triggered something in our mind. I said, "You're looking gorgeous," and kissed her on her forehead. The night was really superb. Next morning, I received some scary and threatened messages from my friend where he was asking for a big amount. I called him and burst into laughter and asked, "Why are you kidding?" He declined my call and sent me the captured video. I was totally shocked and felt like fish out of water. The day came when I finally escaped from home with my only handbag, the office laptop and the clothes that I wore. His home was the first place I stopped dead and began to quarrel. He pointed me the knife and said, "Give me the money. Otherwise, I'll show these pictures to your wife." My relationship with my wife has already tried and died. So I myself told her everything about the girl. She was normal because she was having an affair with the sugar daddy. He soon left me. I was worried about my private pictures. I told police that my friend constantly threatened me. I filed a case against my friend. He's now in jail and lost his sincere and supportive husband for the lifetime. Big shame on him. What would you do if you got this kind of